In the city of Beria, there lived a very handsome and intelligent man called Ifeanyi. His parents were very poor, so Ifeanyi dropped out of school at a very tender age because they had no money to pay his school fees. Since Ifeanyi couldn't go to school, he decided to learn a very good trade from a wealthy chief, very wealthy chief called Okafor. Chief Okafor was a well-known importer and exporter of building materials in a very popular market. Ifeanyi and his parents discussed with Chief Okafor, and they all agreed that Ifeanyi would be his apprentice for 8 long years, after which Chief Okafor would give him a huge amount of money to start his own business. So, Ifeanyi started working for Chief Okafor. Unlike other people who worked for Chief Okafor, Ifeanyi was very honest and upright. So Chief Okafor loved him so much. But his peers, who also worked for Chief Okafor, hated him with passion because Ifeanyi was too honest, in their opinion. Whenever Ifeanyi caught any of them trying to steal from Chief Okafor, he would report them to Chief. Many people learning the trade from Chief Okafor have been sent back to their families because of Ifeanyi's honesty, and so they all disliked him. When Ifeanyi was in his 7th year with Chief Okafor, his peers decided to teach him a very big lesson for always trying to implicate and expose them for their shady business. And so, they stole a huge amount of foreign currency from Chief Okafor's briefcase and planted it in Ifeanyi's bag. The next day, when Chief Okafor started looking for his money, he asked all his workers, including Ifeanyi, if they had seen his money. But everyone denied seeing the chief's money. Chief Okafor pleaded with all of them to return his money because it did not belong to him. It was for a very important business partner. But everyone insisted that they hadn't seen the money. Out of anger, Chief Okafor called the police. And when the police came, they searched the whole house and the bags of the workers. Ifeanyi was shocked when they searched his bag and brought out a few bundles of hard currencies. He was very confused. But Chief Okafor was very disappointed in Ifeanyi. He didn't believe it at first, but the evidence was obvious. Ifeanyi pleaded with the chief and promised him that he didn't steal the money.
Please, Chief, I didn't steal your money. You know me. I have never taken anything that doesn't belong to me in my life. If I would steal from you, why would I take the risk when it is almost time for me to start my own business?
Maybe that was why you stole the money, because you wanted to add it to the money I would give you to start up your own business when our agreement finally comes to an end.
No, I can never do such a thing. I would be content with whatever you give to me. Please, Chief, believe me. Over the past years I've been with you, you know I am not that kind of person, you know.
If it was someone else, I would have sent them to jail for double crossing me. But because of your sincerity towards me in the past, I would forgive you. But from now on, you are no longer my worker, and I, Chief Okafo, owe you nothing. Ifeanyi went on his knees with tears and started pleading with Chief Okafo.
Please, my mother and father are dependent on me. It has been 7 long years. I can't go back to the village just the way I came, with nothing. Please, have mercy on me, Chief. Please.
Chief Okafo turned a deaf ear to his tears and chased him out of the house. The other workers were very happy at the outcome of their conspiracy because there was no one to monitor or expose them anymore. Ifeanyi left Chief Okafor's house with the few clothes he had. He was homeless and had nowhere to go. He equally didn't want to go back to the village, so he started sleeping under the bridge in the city of Berea. Ifeanyi went around Berea in search of a job, but the salary he was offered was too small to take care of his basic needs because he was a dropout who did not have a degree. One day, Ifeanyi saw some young men of his age on the road hawking plantains. They would run after cars held up in traffic, advertising and convincing them, the motorists, to buy their plantains. After much consideration, Ifeanyi approached one of them and told him his story. Ifeanyi pleaded with him to teach him how to run the business. The man took pity on Ifeanyi and taught him the tricks of the business and also lent Ifeanyi some money to start the business. It didn't take long before Ifeanyi started buying plantains from local farmers to sell to motorists on the road. The business was very tedious and stressful, but Ifeanyi had no choice, so he had to adapt very fast. He was fortunate to make enough profit in some weeks and paid back the man who lent him the money to start the business. The other plantain sellers stayed in one room, so Ifeanyi joined them in the single room and stopped sleeping under the bridge. On one fateful day, Ifeanyi was on the road as usual, chasing after motorists held up in traffic and selling his plantains, when a lady in a very exotic car called on him. Ifeanyi ran to meet her by the window of her car, showing her his plantains. Ifeanyi was very happy. "Hi Ifeanyi, I would like to buy plantains for 5,000 naira, but I don't have cash on me. Can I make a transfer to you?" Ifeanyi was very happy when he heard the price the woman mentioned. It was enough to cover his targets for that day. He quickly met his fellow plantain seller and collected his bank details. Then he called it out to the lady. The lady told him the money had been sent, but the traffic lights was green and the other cars behind Aminat's car were honking impatiently on her to move ahead. Ifeanyi trusted Aminat and gave her plantains worth the price she asked without confirming if she truly sent the money. All he asked for was her name. When Aminat drove away, Ifeanyi ran to meet his colleague whose account number he used to receive the money from Aminat. Has she sent the money? Did you receive any notification from your bank? Ifeanyi asked impatiently, but his colleague still had a lot of plantains to sell in order to meet his targets for the day. So he gave Ifeanyi his phone to check the notification himself, while he continued chasing after motorists on the road. Ifeanyi went through the phone's SMS and saw a bank credit notification. He opened the notification and saw the name of the sender, Aminat. But Ifeanyi was shocked when he checked the amount of money Aminat transferred. Instead of 5,000 naira, Aminat mistakenly sent him 50,000 naira because she was in a hurry. Ifeanyi became confused. He didn't know what to do. He went to withdraw the money, and at the end of the day, he narrated his experience to fellow plantain sellers. Guys, I sold a lot of plantains to a particular lady this afternoon. But instead of 5,000 naira, she sent 50,000 naira. All I know is her name, and I don't know how to contact her. Did you contact her? Are you mad? God has blessed you with 45,000 naira extra, and you want to return it to her? Ifeanyi, how often do you sell 5,000 naira worth of plantains at once in a day? The lady is obviously rich now. I'm sure she doesn't care about the balance. Ifeanyi, if I were you, I would keep the money and stop selling on that particular road. I would look for another location so the woman wouldn't find me again. Remember your experience with Chief Okafor. If you had been stealing his money like the others, you wouldn't be here today, Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi listened to all of them in disbelief. He was trained to be a very honest and transparent man, so he was confused on what to do. He recalled his experience with Chief Okafor, like one of his colleagues said, but he felt it wasn't enough reason for him to become a thief. The next day, Ifeanyi safely placed the balance of 45,000 naira in his pocket and went to the road to sell his plantains. He was hoping to see Aminat again and return the balance. The first day passed, but he didn't see Aminat. The second day and the third day passed equally, but he didn't see her. Ifeanyi started being tempted to spend the money, but he refused to give in to the temptation. 3 weeks after, Ifeanyi saw the same car which Aminat drove the day she bought plantains from him. He went closer to the car and was very happy when he saw Aminat seated peacefully inside the car. He knocked on her window, but Aminat refused to wind down. He knocked again and again and again. Then Aminat lowered her window and gestured to him that she wasn't interested in buying plantains. Ifeanyi was disappointed that she didn't remember him, but instead of walking away, he reminded her that she bought some plantains from him almost a month ago and mistakenly sent him 50,000 naira instead of 5,000 naira. Then he dipped his hand into his pocket and gave her the balance of 45,000 naira. Aminat couldn't believe what she just experienced. The traffic light was already green, so she parked her car by the roadside and asked Ifeanyi to enter the front seat. "What is your name?" "My name is Ifeanyi ma." "And you told me your name is Aminat." "You are right. My name is Aminat, and I remember mistakenly sending someone more money than we bargained, but I felt it was gone. In this country, it is so difficult to find an honest person." "Ah, there are still good people. I am not saying I am a good person, but I was trained to be different. I have been looking for you since that day, but I couldn't find you." "Yes, I traveled out of the country that day for my brother's birthday party. I only recently returned. But I'm curious, why didn't you spend the money when you couldn't find me?" "I couldn't, Aminat, because it isn't mine. I didn't work for it." "Wow, I am impressed. Ifeanyi, I would like to know more about you. Are you free right now? I want to take you somewhere." "Well, technically I'm free, but I still have to sell off my plantains to meet my targets for the day." "Okay, check and tell me how many more plantains you need to sell for today." Ifeanyi counted the plantains he held and told her it will cost 4,000 naira only. Aminat counted 10,000 naira cash and gave it to him. Then she took him to a fancy restaurant. After they had finished eating, she told Ifeanyi to tell her about himself. Ifeanyi narrated his life experiences, how he dropped out of school, how he was framed for stealing, how Chief Okafor sent him out of the house, and all of his life experiences in general. Aminat really felt sorry for him, but deep within her, she was already attracted to Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi was very handsome. He had the right height and he was very fit. His voice was captivating and he had a rare personality. She exchanged contacts with Ifeanyi and they started communicating very often. The attraction she felt towards Ifeanyi started becoming stronger and stronger. And so she began to treat Ifeanyi very differently. She rented a very nice apartment for him where he stays alone and bought all sorts of appliances in the house for him. Aminat also bought a kiosk where he sold his plantains in the market instead of hawking under the hot sun and chasing motorists in traffic. Ifeanyi started making some money and began sending money home to his parents in the village. One night, Aminat visited Ifeanyi in the apartment she rented for him. And while they were talking, Aminat told Ifeanyi to close his eyes. Then she kissed him deeply. Ifeanyi was surprised, but he didn't push her away. Instead, he held her and kissed her back passionately. That night, they slept with each other, and Aminat told Ifeanyi that she was deeply in love with him. Ifeanyi didn't feel the same way, but he really liked Aminat, and so he liked that he loved her too, because of what he was gaining from her.